So we are reading Healing Hands of Light by Barbara Brennan, chapter 23, page number 237 of the book and page number 252 of the PDF.
Healing with color and sound. Healing with colored light, color modulation. There are many times when a healer will need to hold a certain color that has been channeled through her. Holding a color also means holding your field in a certain frequency range, which you really must do throughout the entire healing. You need to be sensitive enough to keep your energy level at the range that is needed at any given time by the patient.
So again, every color has its own frequency of vibration, right? We can also actually clear out an environment by putting just a small dot of a particular color at a specific space in a room, right? The whole field shifts just by putting one color. So colors are very, very powerful. And of course, in healing, if you're keeping yourself at that vibratory frequency and then channeling that color, it can become a very powerful mode of healing. We've been seeing it using the green reball, the red reball, and the purple reball. And of course, people have been experimenting with other colored reballs also and finding it to be pretty effective.
Some examples of holding a certain color have already been given in previous chapters on etheric template healing, ketheric template healing, holding gold, sixth level healing in which you go up into the celestial frequencies, spine cleaning, and chakra charging in which you hold the specific color of a chakra until it is charged. At other times, you may be requested by the guides to pour certain colored light into your patient, whenever and wherever it is needed. At these times, you must learn to be in a specific color and hold it. In the last chapter, I stated that it takes practice to learn to produce a color of your choosing to use in healing. For beginning students, it is very important to practice color modulation before trying to control the color coming through you. Most chelation is done without color control. However, later in a healing and guides may want you to sit in or hold steady a certain color they wish to use. This means that if you do not learn to control color, you may very well interfere with the color being sent through you by changing your field unconsciously. Thus, you need to be able to hold your field steady in one particular color. Dolores Krieger, in her book Therapeutic Touch, gives some very good color modulation exercises. Essentially, you must learn that what it is like to be in a certain color. It is not a matter of thinking the color as in visualization. If you think red, you will make yellow. If you think green, you will make yellow. If you think blue, you will make yellow. Healers call this doing it in yellow because when you think you make yellow, many beginners do it in yellow. Thus, to make blue, you must be blue, whatever that means to you. So you need to experiment for yourself what it is like to be in a state of blue.
So this is beautiful, right? Putting yourself into that consciousness, into that conscious awareness that reflects the frequency of that color. You need to be that color with all your senses. So this is really interesting. Very nice.
Exercises to control the color you send. How do you feel when you wear blue clothes or sit in blue light that comes from a cathedral window? What does blue mean to you? Again, you must use the sense that you are most accustomed to using. Do you best access information through seeing, hearing, or feeling? What does blue look like, sound like, or feel like? Get one of those leaded glass crystals that you can hang in your window. Put your fingers in each of the colors of the rainbow it produces. How does each color feel? Get plates of colored glass or sheets of colored clear plastic. Hold them in the sunlight. Explore your relationship to each color. Take colored pieces of paper or material, all the same size, mix them up in a pile. Close your eyes and pick out two of them. Keep your eyes closed. Explore your relationship to that color. What does it feel like? Do you like it? Dislike it? Does it provoke any feelings in you? Does it energize or de energize you? Does it make you feel calm or uncomfortable? Place it on different parts of your body. Would you like to wear this color? Then, after this, with eyes closed, decide which color you like best. If you like, you can guess what color it is. Then open your eyes. You will be surprised at how much information you now have about your relationship to each color. You will find that you carry prejudice about what each color is supposed to do, but didn't.
So now this is interesting. This is an exercise that we used to do in the Vastu program. We have these colored slides of each color. It's that pure color. And we used to make people select which color that they want or which color they use. And we used to make them put it in a line, right? And then with the antenna, we used to make another person take that slide down the field of a person. And used to find that the color used to come in the exact same order in the body of the person also. What also happens is that when a person is sick, right, the colors exchange. And you can actually find that two things are happening at the same time in your body system. So when you rectify a color by just shining a torch and putting that color back into the field, the entire color system rectifies. So this is a very nice way. And see, every color has its frequency. Every color has its own touch. It has its own smell. It has its own taste. So when you start feeling the colors, right, you can start really engaging the color system also. This is very well done. Everyone can do this experiment.
Get a partner, hold hands, and each take a turn at running energy to the other in a certain color. See if your partner can tell what color it is. Practice, practice, practice. Remember that in order to run red, you must have your first chakra clear. To run orange, you must have your second chakra clear, etc. You should clear your chakras before doing these exercises. The exercises to clear your chakras are given in chapter 21. The meaning of color in the aura. Many people come up to me and say, "What color is my aura?" And then they ask, "What does that color mean?" Many people get aura readings in which the reader will say, "Your aura is such and such a color, and that means such and such." As you can see from this book, I don't normally do that. If someone says, "What color is my aura?" I usually say, "On which layer?" Or I will simply read the predominant colors on the unstructured levels and say something like primarily blue with some yellow and purple.
So again, when we were taking aura photographs, you could actually delve into the layers also, but you would get a gestalt because all the layers would be one on top of the other, and then you would get the picture. So we could actually read a lot from an aura picture when we were taking it.
My colleague, Pat Rodas Di Vitali, who channels a guide named Emmanuel, reads colors on the soul level. Emmanuel simply shows her the aura of the person on the soul level as it connects to the task in this lifetime. These colors have a specific meaning to Pat, and that is how she interprets what she sees. Her color meaning list is given in figure 23.1. Remember that to use this list to interpret what you are seeing, you must be looking at the same level Pat is.
So again, as you start seeing the colors, as it is with when you're dealing with energetic fields also, you develop a relationship. Also, like, when you're going into these higher states of consciousness in the other focus levels, we constantly tell you need to develop your own language in those states of consciousness. Because what does a symbol mean to you you need to start understanding that. Like that, when you're using colors in your auric field or in any other process, you need to develop a relationship with that color at that level of consciousness for you to for it to work for you. So she's clearly saying that at the level of consciousness at which Pat was working, these were the meanings of these colors. Of course, we can integrate it and take it into our own system, but over a period of time, you need to develop your own language in how to interpret and what the colors are doing for us.
To read the colors of the soul level, clear your mind through deep meditation, and then ask to be given the colors of the soul level. After some practice, these colors will appear on your mind screen. You may also see forms or figures with these colors that you can describe to your patients in order to help them understand the meaning of the colors.
So again, seeing in your mind's eye, you may not physically see it, but it comes in your awareness. It comes into your conscious awareness.
If you see red, it means passion or strong feelings. When mixed with rose, it means love. Clear red means free or expressed anger. Dark red, held anger. Red orange implies sexual passion. When the color is orange, the person has ambition. When it is yellow, it refers to intellect. A person with a lot of green has a lot of healing and nurturing energy. Blue is the color of the teacher and of sensitivity. When purple is seen on the soul level, the person has a deeper connection to spirit, while indigo means moving towards a deeper connection to spirit. Lavender refers to spirit and white to truth. Gold is connection to God and the service of humankind with godlike love. When a person has silver in her soul level, it means she is connected to or has gifts in communication and is able to communicate well. Velvet black is like holes in space, which are doorways to other realities. Maroon means moving into one's task. Black is the absence of light or profound forgetting, which leads to cancer, and which is seen on the soul level as thwarted ambition.
Then go back. So all these colors, right? So red again, passion, love, feelings. When red used to come in the auric field of people, they were energetic. They were more physical in nature. They wanted stuff in their hand. Orange is again ambition. It's also a color of creativity in my view. Yellow is intellect. It also shows kingly natures, right? Green again, healing and nurturing. It also signifies, in my view, change. Whenever there's a shift in your level of consciousness, whenever you are, lots of new things coming into your life, that time green comes. Blue is again a color of spirituality, in my view, right? So the teachers, the sensitivity issues, you understand. You're the giver. You're the doer for people. You won't come in the front. Then purple, again, it's a deep connection to spirit. But generally speaking, I have found purple coming when people are, they've given up. They are seriously ill and they have no control over it or not. They surrender when purple comes. Now, if you're being forced to surrender and you've purposefully surrendered, there's a very big difference in that. I've come across only people who have been forced to surrender and have purple in their aura. Indigo, again, meaning deeper connections into the state. And again, spirituality, deeper connection with spirituality. Lavender, of course, is going into altered states of consciousness. I have only one lavender picture, which is taken of a person who was channeling Durga Ji. This person had come from Leh and we took the permission and took the picture. That picture came in lavender. White is again total spirit, it's truth, it's connection with the Lord, it's going into tremendous altered states. Gold again is kingly nature, and again, the kings were meant to be serving humanity, but they had their own tantrums and their own authority etc. Silver is not a color that I have come across in the Progen Aura camera at least, but over here it says communication. Black is again darkness. It's eating into your system and can create a lot of problems for you. Velvet black is again something that we've not really encountered in the Progen system. Maroon also didn't come too much, but the color pink used to come a lot, which again says, yeah, so it's exactly that. When it comes in a certain space in the aura picture, it used to mean that the person is setting up something on their own. They're going into acquisition mode when it used to come. But it also implied a little bit of, not being comfortable, feeling a little insecure also when it used to come in certain spots. So again, pink, I think pink and maroon, the way she's saying it, it tallies up.
Sorry, Niket, can you just repeat a bit of orange and yellow, please? And green?
Orange for me used to indicate creativity.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you the aura pictures.
Especially the sacral chakra is orange, right?
Yeah. So lots of creativity in the sense that, artistic ability. And of course, ambition is there, right? But you need to use it. You need to use your talent. It's a matter of talent, whether you're using your talent or not. Many times it used to be stuck in the center of the auric field. And that meant that you had the talent, but you're not using the talent.
Okay.
Gold and yellow I used to equate in one go. So the person used to have a kingly nature. They'd wear branded stuff. They'd be leaders in the setup. That kind of thing was there with the yellow.
Right. And green, healing, healer, nurturer.
Green is for healing. Whenever there is a transformation taking place, major change taking place in your life, I found green used to come. If you're recovering from an illness, green used to be there in your life. If you are ill and green turns up, that means the universe has started to send healing.
Heal you.
You will heal.
And red is the same, passion, strong feelings, love.
Red is more physicality.
Physicality.
Generally, young children used to have red a lot. Person like a factory manager, this in, that out. They don't like complicated stuff. They like everything with their hands. That used to be the reading for red aura.
Thank you so much.
Bianca, you're saying something?
Hi, Bhaiya. I just wanted to ask you, someone told me that when you wear white, you're usually reflecting your energy. And when you wear black, you're absorbing the positive and negative energies. So is that true?
See, again, every color has its own frequency and vibration, right? So something may work for you, something may not work for you. Having said that, as colors, white reflects, white doesn't absorb, right? Black absorbs. It can integrate anything into itself. So it again depends on what is the application you're using it for, and then you use this thing, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Nowadays, I see a lot of youngsters. They choose to just by default wear black all the time. They don't want to use colors.
Yeah, so
I don't know why. But...
Yeah, so naturally the color will absorb stuff. Okay. So actually speaking, you should be wearing all different kinds of colors, and whichever color you need. You see, I'll tell you, do an experiment. If you have all the different colors available in your almirah, allow yourself to choose, your body to choose whichever color it wants. And your body is going to instinctively choose the color that it needs for that particular day. So you will find over a period of time, for 1 month, you're wearing more blues. Again, suddenly it will turn out that you're wearing more red. Some other week you'll turn out to be wearing yellows. So you'll have a propensity to a particular color if you allow your body system to choose which color it wants to wear. It's very sensitive. It knows what is missing and it likes to integrate that color into your system.
So, yeah, the color you keep choosing again and again, that color that you basically resonate best with, is that like supposed to be like your lucky color, or the color, which is supposed to...
So there are two aspects to it. One is, if all the colors are automatically already balanced in your field, then you will choose the color that you like, right? But if you are given a choice, your body will choose the color that your body needs. There's a difference between the two. Okay. So observe yourself. if you're giving yourself a freedom of choice, which color is your hand picking up without thinking? Then you'll get to know that that color is what is missing in your field and the body is looking for that particular color.
Thank
Observe,
you. You
observe it.
explained it.
Observe what is happening.
I'll do that. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Okay.
Color in a healing session. All the colors of the rainbow are used in healing. Each color has its own effect in the field. Of course, each color can be used to charge the chakra that metabolizes that color. Red is used to charge the field, burn out cancer and warm cold areas. Orange charges the field, increases sexual potency and immunity. Yellow is used to clear a foggy head and help the linear mind function well. Green is used as a general balancer and healer for all things. Blue cools and calms. It is also used to restructure the etheric field and in shielding. Purple helps the patient connect to his spirit, while indigo opens the third eye and enhances visualization and clears the head. White is used to charge the field, bring peace and comfort, and take away pain. Gold is used to restructure the seventh layer and to strengthen and charge the field. Velvet black brings the patient into a state of grace, silence, and peace with God. It is good in restructuring bones that have crumbled from cancer or other trauma. Purple blue takes away pain when doing deep tissue work and work on bone cells. It also helps expand the patient's field in order to connect to her task. In general, I do not control the color coming through me when I do healing, but I am able to sustain a color that comes through me. On rare occasions, I will send a certain color on purpose. Table 23.2 gives the colors used in healing and what I have seen them used for by the guides. Charging each chakra is done by running the color of that chakra into the field on whichever level you are working on. In general, in our society, since we are already so mental, analytical, and intellectual, the color yellow is not used a lot in the healing session. The colors lavender and silver have been used by my guides in a little different fashion from the healing techniques mentioned earlier in this book. When I have observed microorganisms in the field that need to be removed, the guides use first lavender and then silver to blast them out. First, they send through lavender light, which makes the microorganisms vibrate at a high rate and apparently knocks them loose. If lavender light doesn't get them all, the guides will increase intensity and frequency and go up to silver. This powerful current seems to disconnect the microorganisms from their space. The guides then reverse the direction of energy flow through my body and suck all the lavender and silver light back out, carrying the microorganism with the light. This procedure is rather like vacuuming with light. In a particular case in which I was cleaning the blood of a leukemia patient, she received her first clear blood test the day after the healing. That is the only time I have had clinical results to check this procedure.
So this is very much like the shamanic principle also of extracting the critters and the microorganisms, etc., which get stuck in the body system, in the etheric field, etc., and you literally suck them out.
At one point, I began experimenting with the effect of purple blue light with a colleague. We were doing exchange sessions. Daniel Blake of the Structural Bodywork Institute, Santa Barbara, California, did deep tissue work on me and in exchange took my classes. While he worked on me, we experimented with combining color control with deep tissue work. When he was able to hold a strong purple-blue flame coming out from his fingertips, he could go very deeply into my muscle tissue without causing pain. If he got distracted and dropped the color, my muscle would hurt. Controlling the color that came through made his work more effective because he could go much deeper and get a bigger change in muscle and structural alignment. At one point in this work, he was able to get the bone to the bone level. By holding a purple-blue flame mixed with white light, he was able to straighten a slight twist in my femur. As I watched what was happening with his HSP, I could see the cells of my femur realigning themselves with each other. The physical sensation was extremely pleasant. Ewan made the comment that this twisting of the bone is related to how the piezoelectric effect within the bone helps direct bone growth. The piezoelectric effect in bones is the following. When pressure is put on bone tissue, as from walking, the pressure causes a small electrical current to flow through the bone. The bone then grows faster in the direction of the current. If pressure through walking is put on a bone in a misaligned fashion, it will cause the bone to grow in a misaligned or twisted way. The original misalignment in my body was the result of a car accident. Daniel's treatment removed the slight twist from my femur permanently.
So again, this piezoelectric current, it actually moves. And this is what was used by Robert Becker also to actually grow the hands and the limbs of a person, I think it was a person, where only stubs were there and they grew the whole hand back using electrical currents and potentiality, the polarities. They shifted the polarities.
At a certain point in my healing career, the guide suggested I start using black light. This seemed unusual to me, since the dark colors in the aura usually are associated with illness. This black, however, was not the black of cancer, but a velvet black, like black velvet silk.
Okay, so when we go into focus 15, this is what people encounter in focus 15, a velvety black. It is black, but it is not black, right? It's a feeling that comes along with that black, which is very difficult to explain. It is something that you need to experience.
It is like the life potential held in the womb. It is the black mystery of the unknown feminine within all of us, which teems with undifferentiated life.
So again, if you look at this is very interesting that she says this, because when I'm saying that in focus 15, people encounter this black, focus 15 is a state of no time, where all time exists. Everything exists in that. It's like the womb. It has the potential to do anything. So it's like the womb of a woman, where life can actually grow. So everything can happen in focus 15, and everything is available in focus 15. So this is beautifully connected to what we are experiencing in the gateway voyage.
Sitting within the black velvet void is another way to be one with the Creator, but this time without form. To sit within the black velvet void means sitting in silence and peace. It means completely being there in fullness and without judgment. It means going into a state of grace and bringing your patient into that grace with you. It means completely accepting everything that is in that moment. Ian and the other healing guides and I are often patients or other very serious illnesses for a whole hour at a time. It is very healing. It brings the patient into a state of oneness with the divine.
So this is again exactly the feeling that many people have when they go into Focus 15. Feeling of that oneness, feeling of that being whole, feeling of that interconnectedness with that divine field, which is already and always there. This is really beautiful.
Sounding for healing. I have found that color in the aura is directly related to sound. Sounding specific pitches into the field not only produces a specific colors in the field, but is also a powerful agent of healing.
So again, so cynatics is an art form which, using frequencies, you can create art and you can create specific patterns, because every frequency has its own pattern, right? Our cells have a pattern. So when sound is inserted into the field and you can insert the correct sound related to a particular pattern which needs to be created in the body, it can become extremely therapeutic. It can become really, really therapeutic.
We miss this table. We can do this before we go into sound.
Okay. So yes, again, red over here, it says clearly what it's saying. Red is for charging the field. Red is a color of energy, right? You want energy, you need physical strength. Red is the color that you focus on. Even in the excursion, we use the color red with the reball to enhance your strength. Of course, it heats the areas also. Red is a hot color. So whenever healing needs to take place, the body temperature automatically starts to rise, right? So red is a color for that. Orange, as I mentioned already, it's a color for creativity. It is also a color of sexual potency. Why? Because when you are creating something, when you are indulging in the sexual act, it's a creative process. So orange color becomes very, very important. Of course, it increases immunity. It recharges your entire field. The yellow chakra is again associated with the solar plexus. A lot of pent up emotions are there in the solar plexus, right? And when you have pent up emotions, clarity of thought is not there. So when you clear your solar plexus, automatically clarity of thought and the foggy head and mind can also be taken care of. Green is the color of the heart, and it's the color of love. It is the color of healing. It is the color of being, right? So any kind of transformation between the physical and the spiritual has to go through the heart. So that is the color green. I've seen that any major changes taking place in someone's life, you will always have the color green coming in. Blue, of course, is calming, it's cooling. And when can we get into meditative states? When we are cool, when we are calm, when we are stable, right? It's also a color of protection. I've seen that when people have blue aura colors, there are many spirits who are around them. I've counted up to 15, 16 spirits around a person, and they come like small dots in the aura pictures that we've taken. It's a, again, color of healing. It's a color of restructuring, balancing, okay, cooling down. Purple, of course, is a color that connects you to spirits. Whenever people are going into deep meditation, you'll find many times from the third eye actually, light is coming and going. A pulsating light will come. That is the opening of the third eye, connecting with the spirit. So purple and indigo actually start doing that. Lavender is again a color of healing, right? It can actually send a lot of healing into your system. It's a cleansing color. So lavender can be used to heal and clean stuff. Okay. White, of course, can be charging. It can connect you to spirit. It brings peace, happiness, joy. I have seen when white comes on top of a person like that, I call it the hand of God. Everything that the person does will start to work. Gold, of course, again, is a color of authority, restructuring systems, getting systems in place. This is a nice way to say it, that it's restructuring in the seventh layer. I never looked at it from this point of view, but whenever gold came into someone's aura, it means that the person was operating from authority. They liked structure. They did not like anything to be unstructured. So this again matches what we were getting. Silver, of course, I have not seen, but again, it can be a healing color. That what she's saying over here, it can be for purging, I mean, for sanitization. You can imagine the color silver. Okay, now velvety black we've already spoken about. It's a space of silence. And as I mentioned, in focus 15, many people encounter this color. It's a state of stillness. It's a state of connectedness. It can be very therapeutic and healing also, because you go into deep stillness when you access the velvet black. And blue purple, of course, is a color of healing. This is something that we are talking about even in the excursion workshop. The purple color or the purple encoding that we get in can be used for pain management. It can be used for helping, healing, restructuring, etc., etc.
Sounding for healing. I have found that color in the aura is directly related to sound. Sounding specific pitches into the field not only produces specific colors in the field, but is also a powerful agent of healing.
So again, when we look at this, we read the book, The Humming Effect by Jonathan Goldman. And personally speaking, whenever I'm doing biofield tuning, I'm humming all the time. And different pitches, different sounds. And I find it actually goes when I'm using the humming or the toning with the tuning fork sound, they bounce off each other and they can release a lot of blocks which are stuck in the client's field. And it really works wonderfully. Resonant tuning that we do in the Monroe workshops is akin to this only. We constantly tell you, attempt to do it in different pitches and different sounds, different vowel sounds, different pitches. Say it from your nose, say it from your mouth, say it from your chest, say it from your belly. Make the sounds from different places in your body system. Direct that energy into a specific space where you want healing in the body. And it actually works very, very beautifully. So what she's saying is that every sound at a specific pitch will create a specific color, okay, and a specific vibration. So it can become very therapeutic.
Multiple sclerosis, MS, is known among healers as one of the most difficult diseases to work with. It is very hard to effect a change in the field of someone with multiple sclerosis, MS. During one of the intensive training weeks I offer, one of the students had MS. At times during the week, the students and I would work on this student, Liz. Several students were able to perceive a large scar in her field in the sacral area. In the first group healing we did with Liz, she received a normal chelation and went through a lot of feelings. The group healed her, held her, and cried with her. At the end of the second hour of healing, however, I and one of the students who had learned to use her HSP could see that the scar was not touched. As the week progressed, each student began to develop the particular form of healing she felt most connected with.
See, now this is very important, right? Ultimately, you have to develop your own method. What are you connected with? What are you comfortable with using in your sessions? As the healer, you have to develop your own process of actually using stuff, using the tools that you have at your disposal.
Some liked crystals, some concentrated on love, others on spiritual surgery, and some on sounding. At the end of the week, we worked on Liz again. Each student gave her best in her chosen form of healing. There were several students sounding, 2 working with crystals, several sitting in love, and some running energy. We worked synchronistically as a group. We found that two of us who were working with crystals were able to lift the scar out of the field if we worked with the sounders. The sound they made would loosen the scar. We used the crystals as scalpels to cut the scar away once it had been loosened with the sound. Then we would direct the sounders to change the pitch just a little, and another part of the scar would loosen. After its removal, another change in pitch would loosen more scar. We proceeded in this way until the scar was removed completely. After the healing, Liz said that a certain pain that had been in her leg for 15 years was no longer there. Her walking was much improved and still is at the time of writing, which is about 4 years later. This is only one small part of Liz's self-healing story. She has succeeded in regaining all the use of her body, which was almost completely paralyzed.
So again, scar tissue is something, when you have an operation and there is a cut, right? When the tissue repairs itself, many times it doesn't heal properly and it leaves a scar tissue where the sensitivity, etc., is not there. The nerves have not connected properly. So using healing, you can actually heal the scar tissue. One of the ways that, again, Robert Becker says is to take a pipe of copper and rub it on the scar tissue. And when you do that, then automatically the scar tissue starts to get dissolved. You can also use a battery cell alternating between the positive and the negative. That will also start to re-engage the scar tissue. And that becomes very important because many times when scar tissue is there, you have, let's say, physically the healing has taken place, but energetically in the auric field, the healing is not there. That's when you start losing energy from those scar tissue areas. So healing and getting rid of scar tissue is a very important process in the healing process.
Since that time, I have used sound regularly in the healings I give. I use it directly on the chakras to charge and strengthen them. I put my mouth about an inch away from the body where the chakra is located. Each chakra has a different pitch, and each person's pitch for a particular chakra is slightly different.
Absolutely. So you have to be able to assess that finality, right? Where are you feeling that melting point coming? That melting point, getting that point is very, very important, where you suddenly feel that, yeah, everything is one with everything else. And you have to test to get that particular pitch and the level of the volume at which it will get created.
To find the pitch for each chakra, I vary the range a bit until I hit a resonance. This resonance can be heard and felt by the patient.
So again, this is important, right? Resonance. So when I say you get that melting point, it is that resonant frequency, it is that resonant pitch. When you hit it, you get into that melting point. And absolutely, the people feel it. When we are doing biofield tuning also, people actually feel the shifts in their body if they are open to being sensitive to what is happening.
Since I can also see the field, I watch the chakra respond to the sound. When I hit the right pitch, the chakra tenses up and begins to spin rapidly and evenly. Its color brightens up. After holding the sound for some time, the chakra is charged and strengthened enough to hold its new level of energy. Then I move up to the next chakra. I start with the first and move up through all 7. An interesting effect of this sounding, which is usually very powerfully felt by the patient, is to increase the patient's ability to visualize. If a person has a very undercharged chakra, chances are he will not be able to visualize that color in his head. However, after a few minutes of sounding over the corresponding chakra, the patient is able to visualize the chakra's color. Whenever I have done a sounding demonstration in a group, everyone in the group can tell when I have hit resonance with the chakra. The same principles that are used for sounding into the chakras also work with the organs and bones of the body.
So every organ, every bone has a specific frequency. And this is what we've seen in the life system. They've actually mapped out that frequency, and you can use bioresonance through the life system to give energy to a specific bone, to a specific organ, even to a specific muscle. You can actually energize a specific body part using frequencies.
I sound into the particular organ by holding my mouth about an inch over the body surface where that organ is located. I watch the organ using HSP until I get the appropriate sound that causes the greatest amount of effect on the organ. The effect may be energy flow, cleaning the organ, or strengthening it. I simply watch the response and go for it. Over several months of regular healings, I was able to heal ulcerative colitis in this way. The patient was able to avoid a colostomy, which had been recommended by several physicians. Part of this patient's healing was to play a tape recording of that sounding once or twice a day.
So again, recording these sounds and then playing it back can also become very, very therapeutic and effective. So that's how, Eileen is actually recording biofield tuning sessions, and you can hear it later and it will have the same effect on you. So we also started recording it, but we've not let it out into the public till now.
This type of sounding also works very well for healing injured discs, enhancing tissue growth, clearing stagnated fluids from the body, tuning up the nervous system, and tuning the organs of the body so that the impedance match or harmonize with each other to function better.
So now this is important. The impedance matches and harmonizes with each other. Every organ has a flow, and each organ flows into the other organ. This is something that we talk about, in the Ayurvedic healing cycle also, that which organ is working at which time, and everyone works with each other, right? So again, that sound can actually carry it, and there's a shift in the frequency when we can actually sense it.
I have found that different types of body organs, tissues, bones, and fluid all require a different tone and modulation to enhance their healthy functioning. In addition to sounding in the form of tones only, one can make different types of sound. Traditional Indian teachings give a Sanskrit letter and a particular sound for each chakra. I have not yet worked with these, but I can imagine that they are very powerful forms of healing.
So again, each chakra has a bij mantra, right? And you can chant that. Again, you have to figure out whether it is working for you or not.
Some music groups like Robbie Gas perform music to purposefully open the chakras. In a concert I attended, Robbie directed his choir to sing for 2 hours without stopping. Over that time period, songs were chosen specifically to open the chakras in a progressive series, starting with the first chakra. By the time they finished, most of the people in the audience had most of their chakras opened and charged. Everyone had a wonderful time. Music is very healing.
Okay. You can stop here.